Welcome back to Enshrouded, everyone. If you are new to this game or starting a new playthrough, which I know plenty of people are right now with the water biome update coming out, then stick around for this video because I'm going to be sharing some very useful tips for you so that you can get started in the best way possible in this amazing survival game. So without further ado, let's jump in. Okay, so starting off with the first tip, when you first enter into Embervale after coming out through the little cave and kind of tutorial stage of the game, you'll enter into Long Keep here, and by discovering the location, you get your first 2 skill points. So you'll get a level up, and what I highly recommend is that you spend those 2 skill points on these first 2 constitution points in your skill tree. So gonna go ahead and do that. And a lot of people tend to go for double jump or updraft, kind of in the direction of one of those first. But the reason I really like these 2 constitution points is every constitution point increases your health by 50 health points, which early game is just broken, honestly. It's amazing. And we get those 2 points right off the bat. So I would highly recommend those 2. And then I would recommend heading into first double jump and then updraft later on once you do gliders and everything. You don't have to get double jump or updraft, but I just find that they are really, really useful to have for navigating terrain, building, all of that good stuff. And as far as my recommendation as to which path you should start with on the skill tree, I would recommend the tank early game, tank and warrior route, because a lot of the early game weapons are melee weapons, which are going to be really useful to have skills that kind of boost your ability with those weapons. And you're already starting down this route with the 2 constitution points if you choose to do that. So I recommend this route. The battle mage and healer wizard route is really, really great for more end game. And with the water biome update, we see the introduction of a fire spell for the mage and some other tweaks to the skill tree that make being a mage early game a little bit better and easier. But I still recommend that your first skill points should go into the tank route if you're wanting the easiest, best experience possible early game. And the next tip I have for you that may seem obvious to some people, but surprisingly, I see quite a few people not doing this, is clicking on all of the lore pages that you find. You don't have to read them in full detail, although it is helpful to read a lot of them as they can sometimes be clues to hidden treasure or quests and things, but at least click on all of them because early game, you're getting XP from clicking on them, which is obviously really important, and you're activating a whole bunch of quests from clicking on them. I get a lot of people coming into my live chat and everything wondering, oh, how do you have so many quests unlocked? And I even have people that have way more quests unlocked and completed than I do because they've searched in every nook and cranny and clicked on all of that lore. So yeah, if you're looking for XP and exploration and quests to do and things, it's very important to make sure anytime you see one of these glowing pages, go ahead and click on it. It is very important and you will thank me later. All right, another quick tip that I have for you is upgrade your tools as quick as possible, especially if you're into building. The steel tools are currently the best we have in the game before the water biome update, and then the water biome update brings another set of tools even better than these. But basically, let me show you the difference. If you're mining for resources, here is the first pickaxe you ever craft. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, 15 hits to get a piece of blackmire bark. Let's try the steel pickaxe. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah. It's a lot faster. You get the point. So if you're into mining resources and building so that you can upgrade things as quickly as possible, then don't forget your tools. All right, now let me share some simple building tips for you. Starting with scaffolding. Don't use these big scaffolding pieces. They can look cool and they definitely work, but I have just preferred using these little ceiling shapes, whether it's the little 2-meter piece or the larger 4-meter piece. And to make this really easy, you can basically just go to the blueprint, turn snapping off, use Q and the scroll wheel to bring the blueprint really close to you, and you can literally just jump around within a flame altar as if you're kind of flying around, and they'll just place right underneath you because the blueprint's nice and close. So whenever I am working on roofs or anything like that, this is just way easier, especially with a cheap block like the rough stone that I'm using right now, than using something like the scaffolding. So that's definitely one that I get a lot of people when they come to my live streams and such and watch me build are like, oh, I didn't know about that, because they're still trying to use the scaffolding. And rightfully so. That's what it's supposed to be used for. So, you know, if you're into the whole RPG aspect and stuff, by all means, use your scaffolding. This is just a tip that makes things go a lot faster that a lot of advanced players already know. But if you're first starting out, I definitely recommend getting used to this. And another building tip I have for you is once you have crafted the decay tool, which you can craft from Alden Crawley, the collector NPC that you find in the Hollow Halls, once you've crafted this tool, it also acts as a repair tool. And I know a lot of people like coming to these old structures. I'm just in Long Keep right now for this demonstration. And when you left click on things, it decays them. It destroys the structures. But in already existing destroyed structures, you can also right click and repair any of them. So if you're doing a renovation build or any of that, you can right click on these, and it also acts as a repair tool. So that's a really useful thing that not a whole lot of beginners know, especially when repairing existing decayed structures. It works the same. Another really useful thing with the decay tool is that you can get rid of textures that you don't want. So you don't always have to decay something. You can left click, for example, on the tarred shingle roof block here and remove all of your unwanted texturing that happens, and it's not making the roof block itself look very destroyed. We're simply just removing the trim off the roof block, and with any of the tools you can go into first person to make this a lot easier. But yeah, I love this trick with the decay tool if you don't want any of these weird textures to happen on your roof blocks, for example. It can also be used to remove them. Alright, now for a few more tips to help you out with your exploration and progression, starting off with lockpicks. You can see in my general crafting menu I can craft them, but they require 2 metal scraps each, so you'll definitely want to go to the blacksmith to craft these as soon as you have the blacksmith NPC, because they are half the cost. They only require 1 metal scrap, and early in the game, metal scraps can be a bit of a finite resource. They're very easy to come by, but definitely remember this. I know when I was first starting out, I wasted a lot of metal scraps not realizing that the blacksmith had them for half the cost. So before you go out on your adventures, be sure to have a stack of lockpicks in your inventory that you have already crafted from the blacksmith ahead of time. Another thing to keep in mind when preparing for your adventures is make sure you have good food and potions. Especially after the water biome update, they're going to be re-speccing the food and potions to be even more important to really help you out with your adventures. So definitely be sure you have plenty of food. I also like potions that just add, little quality of life things, like plenty of wisp light potions on me if I'm in a dark space and I don't want to hold a torch. Things along those lines. So yeah, don't forget about your food and potions. And I'm also kind of speaking to myself there because I still to this day forget to have food, and as soon as the water biome update drops, that is definitely going to get to me. And this also goes without saying, but when you're adventuring, be sure you're doing all of the elixir wells and shroud roots, because those are how you get all of your skill points early game to be able to spend in the skill tree. And those are in addition to the skill points that you get just from leveling up with combat. So definitely be sure you're doing these, and you can find a lot of the shroud roots and elixir wells by doing the ancient spires and ancient obelisks, because those will show all of the locations for them on your map. They'll first show up as lots of little question marks, but yeah, be sure you're staying on top of those, because that will definitely help you out as you move into later game biomes. And then the last bonus tip I have for you today is when you're on fire, which is definitely a later game thing because you don't usually get caught on fire till the mountain biome, but when you're on fire, be sure to blink or roll. That was something I honestly didn't figure out till a little bit later. It's a pretty common thing now, but when I first did the mountain biome, I didn't realize that you could blink or roll and instantly get put out, which totally makes sense. But yeah, figured if you didn't already know that, it's a very useful thing to know because fire damage does a lot. So with that, I hope this video was helpful to you, especially if you are a newer player. And if you're a longtime veteran with a whole bunch of hours in this game, then comment below and let me know if you learned anything as well from today's video, or what you're looking forward to most about the water biome update and the 1.0 release of Enshrouded in spring of 2026. This is definitely one of my favorite survival crafting games, and I absolutely love it for the exploration, the building, and all of the above. So with that said, be sure to subscribe, join the Discord server through the link in the description, and I will see you all next time. Cheers.